dispatched to the targeted battleground areas of Magarini, Malava, and Bere North through compromised presiding officers. This strikes at the heart of electoral integrity. Fourth, we have seen extended and illegal campaigns conducted by regime agents well beyond the official campaign period, escorted by police officers and accompanied by hired goons. This is a deliberate attempt to tilt the playing field and subvert the will of the people. Number 5, violence is being prepared and deployed as a tool to cripple these by-elections. There is a well-coordinated scheme involving sections of the police, hired goons, and compromised IEBC officials. In Valava, for example, hired goons reportedly under the command of Lugari MP Nabi Nabwera are expected to spark violence using pangas and rungus and other crude weapons. They are to be protected by police, including a special team which has already been dispatched from Nairobi and we are monitoring their movements, the infamous Subaru unit. Once voting is disrupted, compromised IEBC ballots, compromised IEBC officers and clerks are expected to use that chaos to stuff ballots. We saw this pattern during the Gen Z protests, where police did not stop goons, but actually enabled them. We have again seen police in Narok and Kabuchai captured on camera moving goons and distributing funds. This is a betrayal of the oath to protect. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, as we stated on November 20th, there is a deliberate plan to misuse mobile phones in polling stations in ways that violate the secrecy of the ballot. The response from IEBC has been weak and insufficient, with the junior officer in Magarini giving a half-hearted explanation to an issue that demands the full attention of the chairperson and indeed the entire commission. Their silence deepens our concern about the integrity of this institution at this critical moment. The IEBC, by failing to address the genuine concerns raised by the opposition and the media, and by neglecting to put in place the necessary remedial measures, continues to cast a long shadow over its own independence. This new commission now stands accused, not by us alone, but by its actions of presiding over a process whose credibility grows more questionable by the day. A democratic, free and fair election cannot be built on silence, on evasion or selective action. It must be anchored on justice. We therefore demand that the IEBC rises to the moment and A, confronts and overcomes the challenges facing this by-election. This is the first true test of the new commission. They must either overcome these challenges or be overcome by them, squandering the little trust Kenyans still hold. The commission must assure all Kenyans that it is not entangled with broad-based masters. B, to our supporters across the country, come out in large numbers and vote for all united opposition candidates. Remain peaceful, but also remain vigilant. Document every irregularity and promptly report every form of electoral malpractice witnessed in your constituencies or in your wards. To our agents, you have been prepared for this day. Confirm that all ballot boxes are empty before voting begins. And check even any possibility of open windows where things could have been brought in and sneaked in. Do not abandon your stations until polling is fully concluded. Report every incident, from attempted inducements to photo taking inside booths to any form of voter harassment by police in uniform or in plain clothes. To the media, election observers and civil society organizations, please maintain maximum vigilance at all polling stations. Shine the light where others attempt to hide the truth. Expose every malpractice. This is what is expected of us as citizens of this country. that we have to dig in for democracy. E, the desperation of this regime is obvious to all. They are hanging by a thread. The writing is on the wall. The die is indeed cast. No amount of public money, no deployment of police, bullets or tear gas, and no intimidation of opposition leaders and supporters will succeed in silencing the will of the people. And to the broad-based operators clinging to their last straws, let it be known the people have already spoken. At this defining moment, we urge Kenyans to stand firm, stand peaceful, and stand together. Let us prove once again that no force, however desperate, can overcome a united and a determined people. The will of Kenyans is sacred. It cannot be bought, it cannot be bullied, or indeed it can never be broken. Tomorrow, let us vote with courage, guide the vote with vigilance, and move forward with faith, knowing that the truth may be delayed, but it cannot surely be denied. May God bless Kenya and all of us. My colleagues may want to add, but to do that aspect I talked about, the 820,000 ballots already printed. They were printed out in Greece, and the policy for by-elections has always been, you print locally. The Kenya Literature Bureau, for example, has been in that business. And it is also important to know that no certificate, and we want IEBC to prove us wrong, no certificate of inspection and receipt has been received. So we are aware that this has been a quiet thing. And as we speak, Mr. Marijan is on the ground in Bere to try to make sure that what is already been planning, as we said the other day when my colleagues were out on the field, last Thursday in particular, we did point out that Marjan is under instructions of the former commissioner, Professor Guli, who is William Ruto's political advisor on matters to do with IEBC. So IEBC, you are clearly on notice. So please, when the agents are there and the names are read out, I'll give an example. Any vote ya Karis in Bere North, if the clerks read Karis, please agents demand to see the marked ballots. And at the end of it, before the presiding officer presses the send button, please ensure that the numbers that have been now kind of identified and announced, yeah, are also the same figure that will get now transmitted by the send button. We are saying this because we are aware in the case of Mbeere North, 15,000 ballots have already been particularly voted. They have already marked them. And so the idea is that they are going to make them, they all be met now at the constituency tallying center. And therefore, because of the lack of serialization, which you have talked about, yeah, anybody can mark and serialize everything. So we are pretty aware, and I must thank Kenyans. Kenyans are very smart. That's why my brother said they cannot be like some of our other neighbors. This is Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is now very clear to us and to the people of Kenya that IEBC is totally compromised, and we are happy that this has been confirmed this early, because had this not been confirmed this early, they could have duped Kenyans that they can supervise and pretend over the general elections. For the first time since the electoral history of Kenya, IEBC has confirmed that they will be using uniformed officers and plainclothes officers. Those plainclothes officers is a tool for ballot stuffing. IEBC has given ballot papers to government agencies that have been pre-marked, and the officers in civilian, their work is to figure out how to get the pre-marked ballots into the ballot box. In Bere, for example, Bere North, 15,000 pre-marked ballots ballots are being distributed now in a hotel 2 kilometers from Ebu town, where Kindiki is supervising. And these officers have been instructed to go to the polling stations, some pretending to be agents, others to be observers, others to be keeping security. The plan in Mbeere North is that 1,500 gangsters from Kayole and Kambura in Kikuyu are in Mbeere. And their mission is to create chaos outside the polling stations so that the police officers inside can create more chaos, pretending to be agents. And in that situation of chaos, the pre-marked ballots will be put into the ballot boxes. Thereafter, the police will arrive and keep peace, and things will go back to normal, and then the voting will continue. By that time, the pre-marked ballot papers will have been in the ballot box already. We are therefore saying, and the CEO of IEBC, Marajan, is in Mbeere North himself overseeing that exercise. Let me ask government not to provoke the people of Mbeere North and the people of Kenya. Those people will not accept that situation. And I can tell you they are aware and they are waiting. And I think for IEBC, they have lost an opportunity to work on some credibility where Kenyans can believe that they can be trusted to oversee the general election. So let me ask the people of Mbeere North to be vigilant, to go and vote, and hang around. And when there is a signal that the goons and the police have brought chaos, they too must come and protect their vote, because it's their right and it cannot be taken away from them. In Narok town, the governor has mobilized goons with the help of the Moranga women rep and Betty Minor, again from Kikuyu, from Kayole, to go and intimidate members of the Kikuyu community in Narok town because they are perceived to be against government, and to make sure they do not vote. I was there on Monday. There was a lot of violence by goons under police supervision in broad daylight. And I want to ask the members of the Kikuyu community not to fear to go and vote, because they are Kenyans and they have a right to live anywhere in this country, and they have a right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. Our party has organized adequate security to escort them to go and vote, and they should do so without fear, because if they buy fear, this will set the stage for the rigging of the 2027 general election. So let us say that if William Ruto and IEBC think they will rig the 2027 general election, they will be in for a rude shock. Admittedly, I think the by-elections are a trial run on how they can rig the 2027 general election. For us, it's also very good, so that we see how they do it, so that we learn and we prepare. But I can tell you with certainty, the people of Kenya will not be intimidated to elect people they don't want. And Kenya is not Tanzania. This is a totally different country with a very resilient population who don't buy fear and who are not easily intimidated. In Mbeere North, William Ruto has spent over 700 million shillings trying to bribe voters. And on the eve of the closure of the campaign period, the people of that area were through with that money. They want to go and vote their men, and that is why now they want to stuff the ballots. And it will not work, and it will not happen. And it is wrong for government officers sitting somewhere in a hotel outside Embu to think that they can go and stuff ballots into ballot boxes where the people live. It is very difficult. It's not easy. So we want to ask IEBC not to allow officers polling stations. And we have asked our agents to demand from the presiding officer that all agents are frisked for weapons. Nobody is supposed to carry a weapon inside a polling station unless it's an officer who is uniformed. Anybody else, whether you are an agent, whether you are an electoral official, you cannot carry a firearm inside the polling station. Those firearms are meant to intimidate the other agents, to intimidate the electoral officials, and therefore we have asked our agents to refuse the voting to begin until all people inside the polling station have been frisked for firearms, so that there are no firearms within the polling station. And I think once that has happened, voting should go on, and the counting should go on, and whoever has won should be announced. We have asked the people of Very North, after voting, all of them to proceed to the tallying center in Chicago, so that they can protect their vote. Because we cannot agree a few police officers organized by government to intimidate an entire population. It is not acceptable. It cannot happen. But the most annoying thing is that IEBC has a guts to print ballots and give them to government. It's so sad. And they expect anybody to believe they can carry out a free and fair general election. They are going to set this country on fire. If those ballots are introduced tomorrow across the country successfully, because Kenyans will know, because the agents will be there, the police will use force, those activities will be recorded, and it comes to the attention of the people of Kenya that IEBC with the government want to introduce ballot papers that are pre-marked, Kenyans will be ready. And it will not be easy. And they will set this country on very, very, very serious tension for the next 2 years. I can tell you with certainty that if they try the rigging of these by-elections, this country will be on political mood from tomorrow up to 2027, and no work will be done in this country. People will be agitated, people will be angry, and people will not accept that a government can enforce, can force leaders on them. So let me ask the people not to fear, not to be intimidated, to go out and vote and protect the vote. They must remain vigilant under all circumstances, no matter the threats, no matter the level of intimidation. This is our country. We have no other country to go to, and the right to vote is absolute, and it must be protected under all circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you.
Labda wenzangu wameongea Kiingereza.